Neill, always a pleasure speaking with you, my friend, especially around this time of the year because CMW is back, man. How you feeling about this?
Pretty excited about this. It's our 42nd year, and believe it or not, it's probably one of our better years. I'm looking at it like that.
Well, you should because you've been real busy with this, you and your team. So, right off the top there, congratulations. Let's jump into it. How is CMW broken up? Because there are really different elements to this, correct?
Yeah, there's a 7 day festival, runs from weekend to weekend, and that's open to the general public. There's over, I think there's close to 250 bands this year. And there's also a business conference, and that runs the gamut from 101 entry level right to the most professional sort of high-end conversations you're going to see, unless you're in the boardroom. And then there's award shows, where we recognize not only people on the stage, but the people behind the scenes that make the shows happen. So that pretty much covers it. There's two conferences running concurrently, though. One is music, and the other is radio. So those two they intersect on some panels, but they're standalone if you buy a ticket to those. So you can buy a radio pass or a music pass.
For folks who have never gone or even heard of, which to me is crazy, not knowing what
Yeah.
Canadian Music Week is all about, explain the concept because you are one of the folks that helped bring this decades ago. This really is probably one of the most important festival conferences in North America.
It's certainly the longest running now, that's for sure. Um, and it's got a worldwide reputation now because we get a number of people from Europe coming over to see Canadian talent. It was basically launched to promote Canadian talent. It was the components. One was to educate them. Two was to get some networking opportunities so they could meet industry people. And three, showcasing their talents. And there are some, what I would say, marquee acts that have played the festival over the years, but we really specialize in emerging acts and giving bands their first chance to sort of get on a world stage. So that's the concept behind it. And it's been going 42 years. So
And I'll throw out some of those names, man, because you had Nickelback, Avril Lavigne, the Bare Naked Ladies. That's just a few. That's not even touching getting up to that level on all the amazing performers that have basically got their launch with your help and Canadian Music Week and giving them a stage. And then, of course, becoming international stars. Who are some of the big names are going to be at some of these conferences? Because there's some huge names coming that can really help basically change your future and getting a chance to hear what they have to say.
well, there's a lot of professional people in there as well, besides musicians, which I mean, the most famous musician this year, of course, would be Deadmau5.
Yeah.
And he's performing live in the city, uh, and I think on the Saturday night, and he's doing an interview. Uh, that'll be able to sit there and ask questions at the end, and then he's receiving a Hall of Fame award at the Live Music Awards. So he'll be around for 3 days or 4 days. So, but there's a lot of people that are in the industry that have been hugely successful: managers, agents, promoters, um, that give their insights and how to take shortcuts. You know what I mean? There's a hack for everything. Well, there's probably a hack for the music business. So and it's entertaining as well because you hear the stories that you may not hear on television. so not suitable for radio either. So, so yeah, you have to be there. You have to be in the moment. It's good. You get to meet these people afterwards. And a lot of this business, of course, is who you know more than what you know, and it's networking, and you got to be there. That's half the battle.
Well, half the battle for me starts on Sunday because number one, I'm going to be one of the hosts helping out throughout the next couple of days down there. So I'm looking forward to seeing people down there as we go through each of the seminars.
Right.
But Sunday, as I'm wearing a Jim Beam hat on, there's really, for me, the big start really happens on as we speak this Sunday, because it really is the launch of who the next stars are going to be, because we're going to have some acts coming together
Well,
and we're going to find out
yes,
who the next big thing is.
exactly. So that's an amazing an event because basically it's a national talent search, and we take, well, they come from everywhere because they don't have to physically be anywhere. We fly in the 5 top acts as picked by us, and then they perform in front of an industry judges. So they, sorry about that. So that's going to happen at the Drake Hotel, the Drake Underground, and of course you're there. You're hosting. You're judging. And the talent's pretty good. It's always different. And then that winner spends the entire week with us. We take them into the studio. They write with a famous writer. They record with a famous producer. They work with Tom Jackson, who's a coach for stage performance, and he's worked with Taylor Swift and Shawn Mendes and a lot of A-listers. So he spends time with them and teaches them how to get, the most out of a song on the stage. And then they wrap that all together and they get to open the Indie Awards, which is on Thursday night at the Danforth Music Hall. So they get to play to 1,500 people, probably the biggest stage they've ever been on. Probably scared to death, but it's super exciting. So yeah, so that's all happening too.
Okay, well, like I said, there's so much going on in the next 7 days when this begins and ends. We got to know, where's it going to be? Where's the hub going to be? And how do we get tickets and passes? That's the most important thing as well.
Okay, well, everything's either Ticketmaster or Ticket Web. You can get any of the shows. But the hub is the Westin Harbor Castle Hotel. So the lobby of that hotel for 4 days will be a zoo.
Yeah.
And just hanging out in the lobby, you're going to meet people. So it's and it goes into the late night sort of thing. So yeah, so when people get back from the gig, there'll be a nightcap in the lobby, that kind of thing. So yeah, if you wanna hang, Westin Harbor Castle lobby. That's it.
That's definitely the place to go to. And one last thing to remind folks too, that once Canadian Music Week is over, CMW isn't technically over for the rest of the year, because we got CMW Virtual Voices that happens also twice a month. Just reminding folks about that too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a recap of what they might have missed if they hadn't been at the event. They'll see it on a recap on those things. We also do live ones as well. So yeah, that's exactly right. We're there all year.
Yeah. And of course, I got to remind folks, I'm the host for that too. So not only are you going to get a lot of CMW, you're also going to get a lot of me too at the same time. But my friend, I got to say, congratulations on this. 4 decades and counting. That is amazing. And every year gets better and better too. So I cannot wait for this. Congratulations, and looking forward to another year of CMW.
Yeah, we are too. Okay, my friend.